Hello, welcome to my home. If you're new here, my name is Karen. So this afternoon I am cleaning up. My dining room has become a dumping ground, and I really wanted to get my kitchen and my dining room put back together because my daughter Crecia is coming home today, and I wanted to finish up most, at least, of my Christmas decorating and get things set to rights so when she comes home I would be ready to make us some dinner. I made a chili this night and I need to get my kitchen wiped up. We've had a broken dishwasher, so dishes are getting hand washed these days.
So here I am putting these queen size air mattresses in the basement. Trip number 1.
The house is always busy, and it kind of cracks me up that I used to try to edit out all of this, and it used to be so hard to film because I was trying to find an empty room that stayed empty long enough for me to film. Isn't that so silly? This is my life. This is my family. They're here, they're there, they're literally everywhere. And it's all about real life these days on This Mainer Mom.
And here I am taking my last trip.
I got those 2 queen size air mattresses on Amazon over Cyber Monday, thank goodness, because we will have 4 married couples, including me, here on Christmas, and so I needed to make sure that everybody had a mattress. And the bonus is, if I ever need to take these to Vermont when we visit my son, I can do that too. Today's Clean and Decorate is a shorter video than what I normally do, but I know for some people you don't have a ton of time to watch a video, so I thought I would throw a shorter one. Plus, this was just an afternoon, my kind of afternoon productivity. The video you saw yesterday was actually this morning, so the bandwidth is going down.
That's peach butter, triple berry, and white coffee.
I'm unpacking a box that we received as a Christmas present from my brother-in-law and his wife, and I have to say, I love the food in it. It was like English muffins and donuts and all the great things that'll be wonderful to have when we have company. I might freeze some of it, but for now I was putting it in the pantry. But what I really loved the most was the basket. That basket is so beautiful. Right now it is sitting on my washing machine because I have some decor on the dryer as well. So I put it on the washing machine for now because I have space for it, but I'm sure I will find a better place for it. So as you can see, I've got some dishes in the sink. As I said, the dishwasher's broken, but when my husband got home from North Carolina, he noticed that it was like blinking because it thinks there's a leak. So something got wet, but he had noticed there was a tube that was blocked and he unblocked it and it still wasn't working. But when he came home that night, he's like, hey, the dishwasher's not blinking anymore, which is basically the error message is which button is blinking. And so he tried to run just an empty dishwasher load. Like we didn't put any dishes in because we didn't want to have to pull them back out if it wasn't working. And it did the load. So what he's thinking is once he got that tube unblocked, everything needed to dry out before it would work again. And I'm hopeful that the dishwasher is fixed. We'll see. I'll try my first load today. Last night I washed the dishes and, not a big fan of washing dishes, but I just put something in my ears and it never takes as long as you think it will. And when I say I put something in my ears, what I mean is I was listening to a video online. Actually, yesterday when I was filming this, I was listening to a true crime video on YouTube, or was it on Prime Video? No, it was on Amazon Prime. And it was talking about this wife of a doctor who was murdered, and it ends up being her husband. It's like a whole series. When I watched the first episode, or I listened to, and then part of the second episode, I don't know if I'm going to have the ability to listen to the whole thing. I don't know if I can keep my attention that long because I'm kind of like, let's just figure this out and move on. But as it turned out so far, it seems like they're not going to be able to have the evidence to convict the doctor, but everybody is sure it was him. It's one of those situations. So it was kind of interesting to listen to. My kitchen floor has been so dirty and it really needs to be mopped, but sweeping had to suffice for this day, but it looked worse than I've had bigger piles without the floor looking as bad as it did, so it's kind of interesting. I didn't have a huge pile, but it was pretty bad for me because it had been a bit. Oftentimes I vacuum, but I have had my Dyson for a while now. It does not pick up as well, especially when you get like dirt, sand type dirt. A lot of times the roller will grab it and throw it back on the floor. So it's time to get a new vacuum. So really a broom does a much better job right now than my vacuum cleaner. It's funny, in my mind, I'm cleaning for my daughter to come home when I realize that she doesn't care whether the kitchen floor is swept or not. But I think this is what I do with the nervousness of somebody coming home. You know how you feel when you just have this like adrenaline energy when people are coming. So at least I was able to use it for good. And I did a pretty good job of not overdoing it. I mean, my feet were sore at the end of the day, but that's not necessarily unusual, and it's the next morning and I can feel that I was fine. I didn't like hurt myself, I didn't do too much. So I had done the pencil tree on the right, but I had never done the pencil tree here on the left, and I hadn't decorated my sideboard. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, so I just kept playing around with it until I liked it. The only thing I've been doing the past several years is putting ornaments in this little holder centerpiece. I actually got that years ago at Goodwill, and I've had it for a long time now, and each Christmas I like to put ornaments in it. I think it looks really pretty. And then I had gotten these 2 reindeer from the Dollar Tree. What I will say about them that you should be aware of if you choose to get them is because of the sparkles, adhesive just does not want to stay on it. The benefit will be they'll be very easy to get off the wall. One of them fell down and I had to re-tape it. So I'm using the strips, command strips, but I'm not really using them correctly because there's no tab for me to pull. But it's going to be so easy for me to pull the reindeer off because of the sparkly stuff that doesn't want to stay adhered anyway that I don't think it will be a problem. And then this is mail tape, and I tried this a couple of times, and okay, poor camera shot there. I apologize for that, but it only lasts a minute. The one on the right wouldn't stay up, the bow, and so I finally ended up wiring it to the reindeer, kind of tucking the wire behind his neck. And then after that, later in the night, the one on the left kept falling, so I'm going to need to go back in and fix that. Here I am with this pencil tree that I got on discount at Michael's. Oh goodness, look for the salespeople. This was a couple years ago, but I've noticed that they're on sale again. Also, this blurriness is going to go away here in a minute because I end up editing out any of the spots that were blurry. This happens every time I decorate this tree. I'm not quite sure why my camera has such a hard time keeping its focus with this tree. This is wired silver ribbon that I have had for years, and every year I use it for something different. This is the first year that I'm kind of cutting it in pieces, but you know how you just take it and you tuck it behind branches and such so it looks like it's completely wrapped the tree, but it's much more easy to control when it's in small pieces, and I've seen a lot of people do this on YouTube, so you probably have too. So this is my nutcracker tree. The ornaments are wooden nutcracker pieces that I think I showed in a previous video. And then I have various silver and a few blue ornaments that I like to put on, as well as pink. So I have regular pink and then I have sparkly pink ornaments. I just love the size of these trees, honestly. I think I could easily be that person that has a tree in every room, but we've let bedrooms take over so much of the house. I don't have a ton of rooms anymore that need to be decorated, but I could definitely see me getting a pencil tree for my bedroom. So let's see if that ever happens. I don't know. I go back and forth. Scale down, buy more. Scale. It's kind of like getting your bangs cut. Get your bangs cut, grow them out. Get your bangs cut. Do you remember those years? Throughout this day, I also kept checking my phone to see where my husband and daughter were driving back from North Carolina. They took it in 2 days. My husband was tempted to try to take it in one, and it's like 15 hours if traffic is light. But as soon as he had said to me he might go all the way through, they hit Washington, D.C., and as you can imagine, they got very slowed down, and they ended up spending the night in Maryland, which I was glad for. I didn't want him driving all night. I just didn't feel like it was safe because we had gotten up at 4:30 in the morning to fly him down there, and then he got off the airplane, got my daughter, and started on the road. It just didn't seem like a wise idea to try to take it all in one day. So, but it was interesting. It's the first time he has traveled since I put the Find My Friend or Find Your Friend app on my phone. And so if he would tell me where they were getting food, like I could look at the location and I could see the road, I could see all of the restaurants, and I'd be like, why are you going to this one? Why aren't you going to that one? You know, because he loves IHOP. And he was going to some teriyaki place, which I thought was kind of risky because it wasn't like a chain that you would know if it was good or bad, but he said it was pretty good. But I could see there was an IHOP across the street, and I know he loves IHOP, but they had already had Waffle House the day before for lunch. So I guess Creasy was like, I don't know if I want pancakes again. So they had gone to this teriyaki one. But it was really neat to be able to see all of the restaurants around him. Maybe I could even help him sometime if he's ever traveling by saying, hey, if you take a right at this light, then you could go to this restaurant, which I know you love. Whereas sometimes when you're on the road driving, you can't see all of that. So, or like, you know how sometimes you'll have a food sign on the highway for an exit, but you can't see the restaurant from the road. And then you get off the exit and it's like 6 miles away is where this McDonald's is. And you have deep regrets for taking or even for, like, it just seems like you're going forever and ever and ever. But now with all of the satellite location stuff, you can really have your passenger be looking at all of that stuff in detail to know exactly how far away everything is. It's amazing how much easier travel is now with our phones. This little decor that I'm putting in this vase that one of you gave me was 2 different sprigs, one that had the cranberry on it, one that was just pine, that I got at the Dollar Tree for $3 a piece. So that was a really good deal, and I didn't know I would put it here, but I tied it in by putting this blue snowflake on it, and I think it came out pretty good. So let me know what you think of my dining room, and we're so excited to have Creasy home. They got home last night at like 5 o'clock. So anyways, I will see you again hopefully tomorrow. Remember, as always, that God loves you and I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time.